Hi, I'm Sunny, and this is my podcast, Creator, Created, Creating. Short and sweet mindset shifts for intentional life creation. I feel a bit alien in this world, and I've always felt a bit alien in this world, like I don't belong in this world on some level. And of course, I do belong in this world, because here I am. Reality rules, and here I am. So I absolutely belong in this world, but I have absolutely felt for most of my life that I didn't belong in this world. And perhaps that's because I was more tuned into my soul self and what I knew to be true. And that just really, really, really didn't match up with the things and the ways that I was seeing played out in the world around me. And how I learned over the course of my life what was allowed and what wasn't allowed, and what viewpoints were allowed, and how you're supposed to see things, and how you're supposed to react to things, and how you're supposed to behave, and how you're supposed to do things so that you'll be liked and loved and safe and be a good girl and be approved of and get your marks and get where you need to go in life and all of those things. So I learned those things, as we all have learned those things along the way. But as I did that, and as we all have done that, we lose a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more of our truth, of the truth of ourselves and the way that we really might see or experience things, or the way we really might feel about ourselves, about this world, about what we want to do, about life, about the rules of life, about what should be and what shouldn't be. And we each have our own version of that. But it gets conditioned out of us. It gets conditioned out of us as we learn what we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do. And so that gets left behind little by little. But when you start to reclaim all of that, you start to get back in touch with all of those truths. You start to remember, your soul starts to remember, and you start to come alive in new ways. And I remember when I first started my kind of spiritual journey many, many years ago of remembering all of this, I remember one of the very first things that I noticed is literally colors changed. Colors was maybe the first thing that I noticed that absolutely changed. Like I felt like I could see like a million more colors than what I saw before. So like if grays used to be like this shade of gray or that shade of gray, suddenly there was like millions of shades of gray, and I could see all of them, and how this one was kind of more of a violet, and this one was more of a greenish, and this one was more of had a deep blue undertone, and this one but all colors changed that way. So and I was a designer and an artist and a creative before that, so I was very familiar and very skilled and adept in colors and color theory, and I knew about color and gradations of colors and different hues and varieties of colors. But even with that knowledge, and even with that kind of just intuition that was always with me, it just exploded into more of a technicolor view. And now that's so normal to me that I almost forget that happened. And I actually didn't even plan to talk about that today. It just came up right now, so it must have been important to say. So anyway, so our senses start to come alive little by little. More and more, they start to be more and more connected to our intuition and to a different frequency, basically. And that happens more than visually, and it happens in lots of different ways besides visually. It happens intuitively. It happens energetically. You get more sensitive in your body and more sensitive in all of your senses. And as that happens, you start to pick up on more information, and you start to remember more of these soul truths. But the reason why I came here was to talk about feeling alien and not belonging in this world, and how we are conditioned out of kind of sharing our truths and sharing how we see things. And that doesn't need to be the case. And I've recently decided that it's no longer the case for me, that I'm the only one who ever did that to me. And it was based on things that were projected onto me, where I thought that I had to shut down the way that I saw the world, the way that I experienced the world, and the way that I remembered that I am, and the way that I see things and feel things and experience things when they don't match the collective. Because like as a little girl, all the way through my teens, all the way through my 20s, all the way through my 30s, I learned to edit. Just a constant stream of editing myself so that I don't get judged, left, abandoned, misunderstood, hated, so that I could belong. Just a constant stream of editing myself so I can belong. And so people will like me. And then in doing so, I created a life and world for myself. I created a reality where I don't belong. Because I'm telling my real self, you don't belong. Shh, quiet, you're out, you're cut. You're cut, you're cut, you're cut, you're edited out. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where I just create this world where I don't belong. That's just a given. I don't belong. That's my story. I don't belong. What I have to say and how I see things doesn't belong, because it might not agree with someone else, and that's not safe. It's not safe not to agree with someone else's worldview. It's not safe to have my own worldview. I know what happens when I do that. I get in trouble. I get in trouble if I don't share someone else's worldview or someone else's view of me, or someone else's view of something else. So I edited myself right out of my own life, in my own reality, and I created a world where I'm an alien in this world and I don't belong. Instead of belonging to myself in my own world, my own universe of my own creation, fully honoring all that I came to be and am, in my heart and soul and spirit, and fully allowing others to do the same, and respecting and letting them feel however they feel about my reality and who I am, and me feeling however I feel about my reality and who I am, and their reality and who they are, and that mutual allowing and respect. There's only one place that mutual respect and allowing can begin, and that's with me. But I haven't been doing it for myself. I've been trying to get it from outside by saying things that I think won't hurt people, won't rub them the wrong way. And of course, it's like one of my main things that I always want people to feel loved and know love and feel safe and know their extreme, infinite, I can't even speak the words without crying, value that is at their center and can never leave them. And that I see that and that I feel that. And I don't want to hurt them in any way. I want to connect them with that feeling. And yet, My existence causes people harm, even when I'm trying my very, very best not to. When I'm just happy and doing my thing, people are going to be hurt watching me. They're going to feel certain ways about me and what I say, just like I do about others, just like others have made me feel when they were just being themselves. And also, like, life is creation and destruction. And it's friction. And it's rubbing the wrong way. Rubbing the wrong way happens. It creates contrast. It creates preferences. Preferences create desires, and desires create a beautiful life path for us to experience as when in this incarnate life that we're living as souls. It makes it interesting. It makes a beautiful story and a beautiful film and a beautiful experience for your life path. So there's no way I'm not going to cause people to sometimes feel hurt by just being who I am and seeing, experiencing, and sharing my worldviews. So I can let that go. I can just let that go. And I can just share my weird ways of viewing myself and the world. And the people for whom that resonates and for whom they say, yes, that's how I feel about the world too. That's how I experience life too. That's something I always thought. That's something I always felt. And they're just lit up. Those people get to come to me because I'm finally just being myself. But when I'm trying to edit myself out and fit into this other picture, of course I don't belong. Of course I don't belong then. But when I tell myself, I am allowed and I belong and I am welcome in this world because here I am and I'm it. I am the world. I am life itself. Here I am. Then the other flowers that match my flower find me in the field of flowers that I'm meant to be with in this time or this space. And that's always shifting too, right? As we go through life, who we're with at certain times is changing because we're always on a path and we're into different things at different times. We're seeing things and experiencing different things and different facets and different aspects of life. And oh my goodness, that is my joy to be able to do that and to be able to be changeful in that. And to be able to be like, ooh, this is what I really love right now. I'm really loving this and exploring this right now and be doing that. And then feel free to move into something else. That's creation. That's creation. So I get to be changeful and I get to always belong no matter what I'm changing into or what I'm leaving behind or what I'm becoming. And there is a truest essence, a rooted essence, but it has so many faces and so many facets, and I just don't want to hide any of them anymore. So I'm not gonna. And I hope that you will join me in that, in welcoming yourself into this world. Maybe for the first time. In all of your quirks and all of your weirdness, you deserve and are born to be absolutely, not just tolerated, but absolutely adored for who you are and how you see things and how you do things and how you experience life and what you want to bring to this world. But it has to begin with you. It can only begin with you. And as you do that for you, it's reflected. It's reflected in reality. So that went a little bit differently than I had planned it to, but that's why I don't plan these podcasts. I just start recording and see what wants to come out. All right. See you next time. Thanks for joining me today. And if you'd like to find out more about me and my work, you can find me at sunnychapman.com.